You're listening to We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation, and I'm your host, Crystle Johnson. We are a community of Black women demanding our collective liberation through radically soft living. Each week, we share the stories of Black women who have set themselves free from the expectations of others and are living on their own terms.
Okay. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation. So excited to have this conversation today with my sis, Katherine Castro, and be talking about pruning your purpose as liberation. And before we jump into the conversation or even talk about why this series even exists, I would love for you, if you're listening in, to let us know where it is you're listening in from. And then also share this live with a Black woman that you think might benefit from this conversation. So let me pull up the comments on the side so then we're able to see them as they're coming in. But while you all are getting it together and dropping that information into the chat and sharing this live with another Black woman you think might benefit from this conversation, if you're new here, my name is Crystle Johnson. I am the founder and retreat host at Design Your Soft Life. I help Black women who are saving the world to save themselves first, because we are so busy trying to save everybody else but ourselves. I founded this series because Black women are literally dying under the weight of all the things that are crushing us, that are happening in our lives, that we are prioritizing over ourselves. And I felt like it would be really important for us to have these conversations about liberation, because I think that we all daydream about liberation, and liberation is often talked about in a very binary way. It's either you're liberated or you're not. But I think it's really important to hear from other Black women who are liberating themselves in different ways, because you're not always going to feel, like everything's perfect. But there are always moments that we can seek liberation and feel and touch liberation. So, how does that feel for you, Katherine?
Oh, I was just taking that in. I mean, I don't know what y'all are doing out there, but I took that in like a deep, like a breath. What am I trying to say? A fresh bit of air into my lungs. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for being here for this conversation to talk about pruning your purpose as liberation. So before we jump into the actual conversation, I would love for you to share with the folks who are listening in, whether you're Team Live. If you are Team Live, put in hashtag Team Live into the chat. And if you're watching the replay, please put in hashtag Team Replay into the chat. But Katherine, tell us who you are.
I love that little tip, little hashtags so we know like when you came. I love that. I want to add hashtag, are you a mom driving and listening and your kids are shh? I'm going to hashtag that. So my intro. So my professional intro, you can find at pruningyourpurpose.com. You can look me up on LinkedIn, but I'm going to give y'all who I am as if it's just me, Crystle, on the call. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. So I am Afro-Latina. I'm from Panama. My skin changes with the seasons. Sometimes I'm darker, sometimes I'm lighter. It's really fun when I'm trying to find my makeup. And the way I live my best life is I love to support. Hey, what's up? I didn't know I can see the comments. I love to support my darker sisters. So I just want to call in, like, I'm really aware of my privilege. And so when Crystle invited me to this platform, honestly, you know why I'm here? Because I care for Crystle. Like I want Crystle to like succeed. I'm trying to go to this retreat. I offered her free service. I want to provide free service for this retreat. I want to be there. And so who am I? I'm your advocate. I'm your next best friend. I am completely committed to our community's work, and I'm a career coach. Now, when I say I'm a career coach, some people have this image in their mind of like, what is that? Even when I was developing my website, my designer was like, do you want to use hot pink? I don't know if it's professional. I'm like, well, That's how I show up professional. I come in hot. I'm hot pink.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am. And so when people come to my site, I really want you to know this is who I am as a professional. By the way, someone come up with another word than professional, because who do you think about when you hear the word professional? You can go ahead and put it in the comment. Chad. Okay. Sorry. Chad. What was that? So I am a career coach that specializes in serving BIPOC talent. I started my work in 2010 when people kind of laughed at me like, oh, they don't really need specialized career coaching. It's just the same. I did a whole thesis on it. I did a research paper on it. They were brutal. I love you, Dr. Rebecca Toporek. They were not going to let me walk the stage basic. And so I had accumulated thousands of hours to get my master's in coaching. I went on to UC Berkeley, and I'll tell you, my brand developed because of my clients. You want to know what they called me at UC Berkeley? I didn't even know right away. I found out later in life. Shout out to BSP and anyone at Cal that knew me and knows me today. They call me the social justice career coach. And when I found that, I was like, what? Gasp. What an honor, right? What an honor. After UC Berkeley, I decided, and I'll talk about why I did it. What else is out there? And so I left my cushion position. I was doing well, y'all. Like, toot, I was doing real good. And I left it, pursued tech in DEIB program management. And well, there's more to this story, but you'll have to go to the retreat and I can tell you the rest of that story. It took a while to blink, Crystle. I have a heart. It took me years. My husband's on this call. It took me years to blink. It used to be like this.
You guys turn your head so you can trick people.
I can't do it without opening my mouth, y'all.
Well, I'm so glad that you're here. And it's funny that you mentioned that part about when you were doing your website and you were like, or your designer said, hey, like, are you sure pink is, professional? I don't know if you want to use it. I had been thinking about like the journey to getting where I am right now, not from a work sense, but out of work, the thing that I do as my passion, as I feel like as my purpose. Mm-hmm. When I initially started doing like podcasts and speaking live and doing those types of things, like when I initially started, I said, okay, well, I want to support women because that felt comfortable. And then I said, okay, women of color. I feel comfortable too. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then I got to the point where I was like, no, like I want to support Black women. And that's it feels so authentic to me. I don't feel like I'm trying to cover all bases because I feel like it would be more acceptable or it would call more people in. And while this work can be hard, planning and selling out a retreat is very hard, especially when you're
that was a hint. That was a hint.
It was a hint, y'all.
That was a hint
to the retreat. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you have a very targeted audience. Because again, I focus on Black women who are saving the world. So that means you might work in DEI or you might work in social impact, or maybe you are addressing generational trauma and you're trying to break cycles. All of us are out here doing a whole lot to make sure that we make the lives of people around us better. And this experience is for you.
Oh my gosh, Crystle, come on, let's get this started. So I want to tell you, like, how did I become a career coach? Like, I didn't just roll out of bed. Well, it's in my blood, y'all. It's in my blood. So the women in my family, they have no problem working. They are ruthless workers. I love my abuela. I love all the women in my family in Panama. They work very hard. To take a vacation, I mean, they make fun of me. It's that bougie life. It's that American, like, oh, bougie life. But really unlearning that in my spirit and my way of working has been a journey. Shout out to Natalie Pearson, my therapist. She's taking new clients. You better get on that. I found out that I had no problem with hustle and no problem with grind. Mm-hmm. No problem with it. The problem I had, and I still am working on it today, shout out to my career coach, Kyle, how do I reward myself? When I received this check in the mail, Crystle. Like, this check has zeros on it. I was like, wow, that's great. And I put it down and I went on. My career coach was like, I'm sorry, do you normally get checks in the mail your first quarter of being an entrepreneur? And I was like, no. It's like, what are you going to do to celebrate yourself? And I did not think about that. So I'm not perfect. However, I understand the struggles of being a Black woman, being Latina, being an immigrant, being a mother. I mean, do I have to go on the list of things? Being a lacrosse coach. I'm new. I'm rookie. Being a good friend, being. When I didn't take vacation or I didn't take a break, I get sick, like physically sick. And I was wondering, like, why am I always sick? You know, my partner's over here licking the wall. Just kidding. He's not like that. But like, he's not getting sick. You know what I'm saying? And he's half white and half Chamorro. If you don't know what Chamorro is, look it up. He has a podcast, Red Rice. Look that up. And I was wondering, like, why am I always getting sick? And I realized my immune system was responding to my quote unquote hustle. Now, I'm not knocking a hustle, but there gets to a point where we ain't dying for this. It's like a real thing. I'm not going to die for this because I have a family. I have 2 children and I have an awesome partner. And I want to live my best life. And watching the women in my family till this day, my abuela, she should be retired and she should be living a cush life. I'm trying to get that for her. But she didn't plan for that. She didn't plan for retirement because she never planned to stop working. So that's really who I am, Crystle. Everyone listening, that's really why I became a career coach. If you want to book me, yes, I want you to make your golden coin. But I too will ask you, how did you reward yourself today, sis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so important because we don't stop to say, oh, this was amazing. Like, this was a dream that I had before. And I posted the other day that, you know, I'm in a prayer that I once prayed. And it's like, when you're in the moment and you're like, oh my God, I got to do all of these things. I have all these dreams, all these things that I want to accomplish. We move so fast and we hustle so hard that when we make it there, we don't even realize it. We don't take the time to celebrate ourselves and realize where we have actually come from. So if you are listening, I hope that you are taking that advice that Katherine gave to really consider, like, how do you celebrate yourself? What have you accomplished? How far have you come? One other thing I'll add to that is I was at this dinner. Aaron Gallagher had a Hype Woman dinner during South by Southwest. And there was an author on a panel and she was talking and she was like, yeah, you know, I retired my dad. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait, I retired my dad too. And I never even thought about it. It didn't seem like a thing that I should be celebrating. And it took her to call it out for me to be like, wait a minute, I did that. So celebration for that.
And then Crystle, I also want to call in, like, and we still got to talk about purpose. Someone take note that we still, because I got gems right here in front of me. We got to cover these gems. But I want to say something like, okay, y'all, if you're listening to, like, this sounds really amazing and really like cush, you know, to travel. It's not just like a bougie thing to do. Like, if you look at, Crystle's not paying me to say this. I'm just being 100. If you look at the offering to go on this retreat, it is not just a vacation. It is not an adventure. It is a healing journey. It's an opportunity. Now, if you have ever traveled before, you know what it takes. You got to book things. You got to look things up. What am I going to do? Where am I going to feel safe? Where is the best thing? You just sign up and go. Like to me, I don't have a big sister. I wish I had a sister. It would be like Crystle. Crystle will call me like, do you want to go on this trip? I'd say yes. I show up and I live my fabulous life. That is what this experience is. And the reason I equate that to like investing in your health and your mental state is my partner. I'll be honest, y'all, I'm not really great at booking a trip. I'm not really good. It's shocking. I'm not great at taking vacation. I told y'all I have a hard time with it. But my partner, when he plans a trip for us, I turn off my PM brain. I turn off a lot because I just show up. And that's the way he loves on me. Is I get to show up and enjoy my life.
Yeah.
And to be with other fellow women. Yeah. So I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go.
To
So
have you-
yeah, we have a little surprise, y'all. Can I just tell them, Crystle? Can I tell them now?
Tell them the surprise.
Okay, I can tell them. All right, so this is what's going to happen. I am really tenacious when I want something, and I want to go on this trip. But your girl, champagne problems. Speaking of privilege, please don't be annoyed with me. Don't give me malo ojo. I just bought my first house in my family. Yay! With my husband.
Incredible.
Woo! In Alameda, California, impossible. I'm pretty sure I'm the first Panamanian that owns property on this island. Woohoo! So y'all, I was like, how can I invest in this trip? How can I make it happen? Noted, I didn't say how I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type of person where I can't do something that's going to help me, but I do want to find a way to get there. So I talked to Crystle. I was like, what's up? What do you need to live your best life? Then I realized, wait a minute. How can we synergy? So if you're out there, like, I can't do something, who can you partner with to make it happen? What can you exchange to make it happen? What talent do you have to make it happen? Not everything in this world is because of a dollar. So for me, it's like, Crystle, what if I get other Black women to go? Then can I go? Can I go in your luggage? And then I would provide career coaching for free. Yeah. I don't use that word very often. And really, I don't believe in free, but it's because I want to give to us. So if you're watching this and 3 of you sign up and mention C3, Castro Career and Cafecito, Prune Your Purpose, your girl, Katherine Castro, I get to come and provide you all some career services for free. What? So anyway, that's a surprise.
That's amazing.
Don't sleep on that.
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep on that. Are we ready to get into the show?
Yes. I think we are ready. So we are here to talk about pruning your purpose. And I think that for a lot of people, purpose is fleeting. And I know that for me personally, I didn't have time to think about purpose because I'm thinking about how I'm going to take care of myself because capitalism. So you don't really have the time and space to pause to say, what is it that I love? What is it that I enjoy? What am I super good at? Many of us don't have the space to do that. So can you talk a little bit about purpose? Like, what is it? How do you find it?
I have plenty to say about this, y'all. That's why my tagline of Castro Career and Cafecito is Prune Your Purpose. Chris, how much time do we have left? Just make sure I drop gems accurately.
We're about 20 minutes in, but as long as you're good, we can go over the 30 minutes. As long
how
as
y'all feel? How's the audience feel? Because I have some nuggets. I got this. So I'm going to go. If y'all want to stay with me, stay with me. If y'all like, if you're bored, then leave. I don't want to bore you. All right, here we go. So first, I always like a working definition because when I'm talking, I don't want to assume y'all know what I'm talking about. Is that fair? So I have notes. I'm being transparent because I just don't want to forget nothing. So what is purpose? So purpose is typically the reason something is done, what's drawing you to something, why something exists that you were a part of. Now, when I work with clients, oftentimes the reason they're coming to me first is because they don't know where they're going. They don't know what their purpose is. And you may be thinking, like, that's such a luxury thing to have.
Yeah.
Sure. However, and I remember I started this work in 2013, officially after I graduated. Okay. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. When people lose sight of their purpose, it starts to resonate in their work. You start maybe getting bored. Please don't post about this. I want y'all to keep your jobs, right? Maybe you start shopping online while you're working. Maybe you start getting depressed. Maybe you make more mistakes than normal. Last quarter, I had a whole bunch of typos. I love my purpose, but Mercury's in retrograde, had a whole bunch of typos.
Yeah, or Curly calls it Mercury and microbraids is.
So don't judge me off my spelling. I'm an ESL student, y'all. You can't tell, can you? But sometimes you can when I see that typo. Anywho, so your purpose is actually critical to your success in whatever you want to do. And I'm not just talking about just your career. I'm talking about as a partner. Like, dating life is rough out there. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is only what I hear on the whisper community, that it is tough. But when you don't know your purpose, that even affects your dating game. One of my girlfriends, I will not mention her name, but I love her so. She was at her house and she was talking about her dating life, and she had this app, and she put herself like out there on the app. And my partner and I looked at that. I'm like, this is not you. What the fuck is this? This chick's basic. Let us work on that. And so we went on there and we reflected what we see of her, like what her purpose is, how she is as an individual, or her light. And all of a sudden, y'all, she has some good, I don't know what to call them, opportunities, prospects, because she was, thank you. I'm sorry. This is my rookie area. That because she was now projecting herself in her purpose. Yeah. And so it's not just about career and dating. I mean, it affects everything you do. So what is purpose? It is the reason something is done, created, why something exists. We all good? That's what it is. Now, there are 3 things I'm going to talk to you about today. One, the biggest problem is people have a struggle defining their purpose. They have a hard time defining it. And if you're listening to me, you're like, I know my purpose is. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on with me. The second biggest problem is people don't prune their purpose. What the heck is pruning? Okay, real quick, plant life. Shout out to my husband, Jay Castro. He loves plants. All right. We have way too many plants. It's like Fern Gully up in here. Anywho, but a plant, when it grows and it's beautiful, sometimes you'll see like a dead leaf. All right. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback. You'll see a dead leaf on the plant. Okay. And what happens is you may be like, gasp, the plant is dying. But no, the plant is just telling you like, this leaf no longer serves me. Cut this shit off. Oh, I can cuss. I cuss sometimes. Okay,
I love the cuss. So go ahead.
Oh, wonderful. I have duck on my website, but I put a star just because I'm a soul mom. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, right. So the plant has this leaf and the leaf is dying. The plant's thriving if you cut that leaf off. So hold on to that thought as I continue to teach you about what pruning your purpose means. Now, the third thing is when people start developing their purpose or pruning their purpose, what the biggest challenge is societal pressures. Okay. And I'm not talking from a place of like a pedestal. No, I struggle with this too. For example, my website, love my website. I'm in love with this thing. It's a beauty. I worked on it so hard. The photos that were chosen for my website, all of them were without my braids. So I gave my designer folder. He did a great job, by the way. Okay. Great job. But he learned a little bit of D&I in our relationship. Anywho, so there was all the pictures of me with no braids. And I thought to myself, oh, hell no. Like I took those photos with my braids and they were fresh. And I put my little bling in them, extra bling too. So they took a minute to take out. We're going to use these. And so part of that was like, oh, your societal pressure is telling you what you think professionalism means. I've released that. I've pruned that a while ago. It's on my site. So the third one is the expectation and societal pressure. Y'all still with me? I can actually feel the energy through the mic. So it feels really good. So number one is defining your purpose. So when you define your purpose, when clients come to me, one of the biggest hurdles is they think it has to be bling, popping, and fireworks. I love bling and fireworks, but it doesn't have to be that for everyone. I have one of my best friends, and I love her so. She's a second grade teacher. Hey, Susan, are you here? Probably not because you're with those kids. But her purpose is more simple than mine. Like when people find out we're really close, they're like, I'm pretty sure her purpose is live her best life, enjoy the sun, and eat something delicious. Like honestly, like her purpose keeps me grounded because when my bling, my big dreams, my big aspirations don't go the way I want, I remember all I need is a fucking donut with my best friend. So your purpose doesn't have to be what their purpose is. Your purpose is what helps you feel good, what helps you thrive. So the second piece is about pruning. All right. So if it's not growing, it's dead. Anybody? No. Lauren Hill. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren Hill. The other day I said that to a client and they said, who? And I was like,
they didn't say who to Lauren Hill.
I just want to share that I work with early to mid-career and then the extreme spectrum, the executive, and early to mid-career folks keep me sharp. And they also remind me, Lauren Hill. Anywho, so when you're growing and you're feeling like, wait a minute, I feel bored or stagnant. Like you almost feel like you're shriveling or getting smaller. It's probably because you haven't pruned your purpose. Now, what the hell does that mean, Katherine? You keep saying that as a human being, not the plant anymore. Now it's flesh and blood. All right. So I'll tell you one of my stories, my personal story. One of my purposes, please take this with a grain of salt. I immigrated here and I did not know English and I had no friends and I was bullied. All right. So that's my one of my roots, my personal plant. And one of my purposes was money. Shit, I don't even say money. All I needed to be happy in my mind and my heart was I need to get paid.
Yeah.
I worked in high school, y'all. My husband's like, where are you going? I'm like, work. I've had over 25 jobs in my life. And how do you do that? You work more than one at a time. And so part of my purpose when I was very young, and I didn't know what pruning was, I didn't know actually what purpose, I was just functioning from a scarcity mindset, was money.
Yeah.
Okay. So today you might be thinking, is it still money? Well, I don't know if you can tell from this interaction. I like nice things. I do like nice things. However, it's not my purpose. My purpose is, are my family happy? And I'm not just giving myself away as a Black Latina woman. They're a mirror of my joy. If my partner, my children are happy, I'm doing good. If they're not happy, something's not right. And everything else will collapse. So now my purpose is like, okay, money's important, but centering it is no longer for me. And I don't need to center it anymore. And I hope everyone's listening will get there. But just remember, if you have a 6-figure job, do you have to work from that scarcity mindset anymore? I mean, you got to ask yourself, like, be honest. Now, if you're looking for a job, which a lot of people are, and the job market is so hard right now, right? But if you're looking for a job, you got to ask yourself, is the partner you're with purpose over money? I still like shiny things though, whoever that LinkedIn user is, just to be very clear. I'm not trying to get people broke here, okay? But what I'm saying is,
Charles, for some reason, it's not coming.
If you're with a partner, for example, and a whole bunch of single people in a minute, just kidding, talk it out. If that person is not helping you pursue your purpose,
yeah,
you may have to prune them because they're no longer serving your purpose. You're all still with me?
I don't know why the truth is so loud right now. I feel attacked.
You feel
attacked.
Okay, let me get to another one. Okay, the societal pressures. Now, I hear a lot, and I completely disagree with it. People say, don't be afraid. Just go for it. Oh, I don't even want to say where that societal message came from because it's not appropriate right now, but that's what society tells. Don't be afraid, go for it. Y'all, no, I don't agree with that. No. But you need to befriend that bitch. Fear. So, little fun fact, I'm 5'1", and my kid is walking through the door. No, I'm busy. You gotta go. Oh, thank you, baby. We're live. That's my 3-year-old. Everybody, he didn't give no fucks about any science. Anyway, where was I? Okay. 5'1" Panamanian woman. I climbed Half Dome at Yosemite. Now look that up. Half Dome at Yosemite. It takes a day to get to the dome and then climb it. And it's vertical. It's like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you let go, you die. They have a lot of rules now because it's a fact. You let go, you will die. Now I climbed it because I was trying to conquer my fear of heights. I got to the top. I got to the bottom. And Crystle, guess what? I'm still scared of heights. So I was like, wait, I feel cheated. What happened? And I realized, wait. I climbed Half Dome with fear of heights. What else can I do with my fear next to me?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out there like, oh, I'm scared for that interview, I'm scared for after that promo, sis, I'm not saying don't be scared, but you are in control of what you want to do.
Yeah.
But fear, you should befriend them because the fear, I think, protects us. So if you're way scared, like sweating, you're not able to function, you're like about to cry, maybe you're trying, your body's trying to protect you from something. But if you're like this, like you all can't tell, but before I get on a mic, for some reason I get so nervous. And then once I start, I'm good. Right. So I realized like, oh, she likes to act up right before I get on a mic. Cool. This is just my process. So when I talk about fear and pruning your purpose, it doesn't mean comfort. I want you to ask yourself, when's the last time you failed? Crystle, when's the last time you failed?
Every day. Every day I fail at something.
Wait a minute. And Crystle's a founder of what? And she has a full-time job. You know she has a full-time job? I didn't know. What? Like, why? Unafraid to make those mistakes.
Yes.
To keep you like that is what's going to help you find your purpose. Let me tell you, I started a podcast. Let me say started. We created the content with framework with Stephanie LeBlanc Godfrey. And at first I was so frustrated with her because we're like, oh, we never launched. You know why? Because my baby came a month early. Yeah, her and I are really tenacious. We were trying to launch a month before my baby was born. And the same one that just popped at the door is like, nah, I'm coming early. What up? So we never officially launched. But you know what? How much I learned from creating content and branding and color and hex codes and like all that work. So when people ask me to come on their podcast, I respect you because I know exactly all the stuff you had to do to get there. Mm-hmm. So when you're trying to find your purpose, get involved. There's plenty. Let's raise your hand out there if you have stuff for people to do. People, if you're out there like, I don't know my purpose, look at the people out there that are busy. Find the crystals and offer something. Offer something in exchange because that's going to help you find your purpose. I find out I love coaching. I really do. Like it just shines through me when I coach. I also found out I don't like doing it every day for 8 hours straight. Mm-hmm. I only found that out because I was doing it for 8 hours straight, 5 days a week with very limited no-shows. When you're good at something, people show up. And I was tired. Like I would come home and just cry because I knew I had to muster up some energy for my baby. And in coaching, be honest, in real coaching, you shouldn't show up tired because some clients may show up and they want to hurt themselves. Mm. And you cannot sleep on those cues because they're not going to say, hey, Katherine, this is so hard. I want to hurt myself. It comes really subtle. You need to be very awake to pick those things up. So finding your purpose means you have to figure out, okay, what do I want to get involved with so I can figure out what I want and don't want? Who do I need to get involved with so I can figure out who I don't want to work with, who I very much want to work with? Mm-hmm. Right. So this is how you find your purpose. Now, you're also with me because now I have my little bow. I don't know how to make an actual bow, by the way. I give you an Amazon gift. It shows up in the Amazon box. I'll be honest with you. So, Crystle, at the beginning of our conversation, you said something that I couldn't wait to get to. And you said, we don't have time to find our purpose. Yes, you do. You do. We're not making the time.
Yeah.
You're not making, and honestly, if you're listening to me like, Katherine, I got this, I feel you in my heart. I do. I feel you in my heart. I have alone time. I put myself on timeout when my kids are too much because sometimes it's like me unfiltered, y'all. And they're little. Okay. I need time out from them. I need a moment. I make time for myself. Yeah. I learned to meditate and take 15-minute naps. My husband's really jealous. But sometimes I'm like, I need 15 minutes. And I take a nap. I learned that through meditating. So you got to make the time. So these are my 3 tips to find your purpose and to prune it. So number 1, create a calendar. All right. Any list makers out there writing this down right now? Create your calendar, not the calendar you buy at CVS or Walgreens. Okay. Create your calendar, the one that has like National Coming Out Day on it, the one that has like your abuelita's birthday on it. Now you create your calendar. Like, when are you going to prune your purpose? For me, it used to be on New Year's. I love doing it on New Year's, like the excitement, the energy about like newness and renewal. And then I love my children, but you know what? They get sick during the winter, Crystle. I ain't pruning shit. I'm taking care of everybody, then I'm taking care of myself, and then it cycles back. So we're like, we can be sick for 3 months. You can feel bad for me. And my birthday's in December. It sucks. And so I realized, okay, I don't have time right now. So this calendar, this New Year calendar, is not working for me anymore. So now I follow the moon. I really am fascinated with the moon. I've always been a nerd about it. And so when the moon is full, I prune my purpose. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to me, what calendar can you create for yourself to prune your purpose? All right. And make time for it. If you have to go to the dentist, if you have to go to work, if you have to pick up your kids, if you have to, you can make time for yourself to prune your purpose. Also, a good time is a retreat. Okay. Moving on to the second part, create your support system. Okay. Now I'm a mother and I'm going to say something kind of vulnerable. Sometimes that is not your mother. Sometimes that is not your partner. When you're pruning your purpose, if someone else is not pruning their purpose, when you're pruning and you're moving, that might intimidate people. Be like, whoa, what is happening here? What is happening here? I just wanted to sit here. Maybe their purpose is more modest than yours. Or maybe vice versa. You know, I would imagine some of my close friends like, let me take a break from you because you're like constantly caffeinated. Not true, but this is the vibe I give. And their purpose is peace. So I'm their best friend. I'll be there for their kids. But when they come to pruning their purpose, maybe they don't contact me. Maybe you don't contact your mom. But who are you going to contact? Like Crystle? When we had our vibe check call, I was like, oh, Crystle's my friend. Like, how can I need this person to thrive? Because Crystle, you helped me serve my purpose, which is I feel so supported on this platform. You know, being Afro-Latina can be hard. Some Black communities don't accept me, but Crystle was very, very clear to me, like, no, that's not what we're about. So if you're Afro-Latina or you're Latina listening to this, we see you. Okay, the third piece. Now you may be thinking, okay, I'm going to make the time. I'm going to prune my purpose, whatever the heck it is. I'll get involved with something. Wait a minute. I'm overwhelmed. And this may happen. You might sit by yourself. You're at a cafe with your coffee or your wine, whatever, your beverage, some good water. And you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to do so many things. Mm-hmm. So this is the other spectrum of the client I have. So I have the client that says, like, I have no idea what I want. I have a current client right now. I don't know if you're on here. I'm not going to say your name. Very talented person. Oh my gosh. When our first call, my list of things he's involved with and how much he's doing is extensive. Mm-hmm. And then I asked, like, but why aren't they happy? They haven't pruned nothing. Their plant is abundant of much stuff that we don't need to do. Yeah. So what I recommend you to do.
Hold up. Before you do it, I'm telling y'all, listen to this.
Before
one.
Right? So you're either on one side, you have no idea what you want to do. Or you're the other one, we're like, I'm doing a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like lost in my own like roses here. Like what's happening, right? Hire yourself a career coach. Honestly, if it's not me, that's fine. All right. But find yourself a really good career coach. This is why. Because when a professional is able to see all the stuff you're involved with, a good coach can pick up, but this no longer brings you joy.
Yeah.
So why are you still doing it? Some people might say, oh, like, for example, I'm a founder of a nonprofit diversity community group. It is on my prune shelf. What the heck is a prune shelf? And this is how we're going to end. So here's a free tip. If you're involved with a heck of a lot, and I'm guessing our audience is probably involved with a heck of a lot. I mean, this is the folks that don't want to take a break or haven't booked your vacation yet or haven't booked this trip. I'm guilty. Okay. I am also guilty of this. Want to know some fun facts? I wrote a children's book. I drew a Chamorro's kid coloring book. Mm-hmm. I paint with acrylics and I make my own nails.
What? Wait, put those up in the camera. We need to see. Come closer.
Oh, how could I do this? Oh, right there. There's a little tight. Oh, I can't see. You can't see my cat, but okay.
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay.
No, I'm pretty good. Pretty good. No, I practiced during COVID, y'all, like, because it's expensive. I like shiny things. but it was no longer serving my purpose to pay someone else $100. Yes, I probably blew someone up. They're like, oh my gosh, my partner's listening. It's expensive. It's expensive to get your nails done. And so I realized like I like to paint, but at the time in that season, I couldn't paint a canvas because I have these little ones all over me. So I found a tiny canvas that I can do. So rewind, all the stuff I did, right? So you two, they're listening, and you're probably doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. So let's create a prune shelf. And the prune shelf is like, oh, I own this business, Katherine. I don't want to let it go because I put so much work into it. Like it took me a long time for the logo. I had to pay someone for that logo. Like you're still attached to it. And I'm not here to say, do this and don't do this. However, what I'm hearing is you're not ready to let that go. So let's put it on the prune shelf. And what that does is you have all these things that you have done, maybe you want to do, or you haven't finished. It's okay not to finish something. It's okay. Just put it on your shelf. And one moment you're going to calendar yourself a session to reflect and prune your purpose, right? And you're going to look at that shelf and you're going to ask yourself, that thing is still calling to me. I think I'm going to center that. For example, I just launched a website. Yeah, I've been a career coach since 2013. Mm-hmm. A website has been on my shelf, very dusty, kind of like mud. And then one day I'm like, I want to do this. So if you're out there, one of the things I want to encourage you to do is I don't actually encourage hustle. I encourage, though, brisk movement paired with a really good break. So for example, today I had a lot of champagne problems. A lot of people want to book me for stuff. So if you're looking for a coach, get on there soon, because soon I have to close that. Honestly, I have to close it. And so I told Crystle, you know what tomorrow is though? I'm going to take a half day. Yeah, I'm going to take a half day. So that's what I have about Prune Your Purpose. If you're looking for a career coach that just tells you what to do and tells you how to format a resume, that you can swipe, swipe to the left, swipe to the right. If you're looking for someone though, that is going to sit with you and figure out like, where are you at? Because if you don't have a purpose in your work, I will work with you. But the result is, I'm telling you, I've seen this many times. You're going to take a job you hate. You're going to take a salary you hate. You're going to work for a boss. You're like, I knew I shouldn't have worked for this person, but you did it because you didn't have your own like purpose compass. Yeah. Brisk movement paired with a break. Yes. So I hope you all took some gems from this, because I have been sitting with this topic since Crystle invited me on this platform. And I want to share with you, I appreciate being here. I'll see you all near the blue water. Yes. And then we can dive into pruning your purpose deeper, and I can hold your hand through that. Oh, by the way, who said holding hands in corporate is a bad thing? Someone made that up and created way more stress for someone. I'm going to tell you a secret. If you're new in this corporate world, it's okay to get your hand held. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, and then one more gem, and then I'm going to shut up. If you want a career coach and you have a job, check your L&D budget. And then you're going to say, Katherine, but we have internal coaches. They're going to push those on me. Then you're going to write some D&I language talking about, well, do you have a Black, Latina, immigrant woman? Because I identify more with this kind of coach. Do you have that person on your roster? They don't. And that's how you can get your L&D budget to pay for someone like me. Maybe a trip like Crystle's. I don't know, learning and development. I'm a career coach. So get creative out there, find your purpose, prune it, take breaks, stay connected with Crystle because she's light. And thank you for having me, y'all.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for dropping all of those gems. I really was feeling like you were peering in my window, and I'm a lot. But yeah, like you spoke about a lot of different things, and I'm like, yeah, that's so true. So when you said you become disinterested, and I have definitely felt that in my career.
Yeah.
About once you get to a certain point and you're able to slow down. So for me, when I felt like, oh, I don't have time to think about what my purpose is, because I was running so fast. Once you get to a certain level, it's almost like, wait, this isn't enough anymore. Like, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? What is my purpose? I really feel very disinterested in this thing that I might be doing. So if you're feeling like that, if you're someone who's feeling like that, it's probably because you are not leaning into your purpose.
And I'm going to just say some difficult things.
Yeah.
Please don't wait till you're laid off to take that trip and to find your purpose. I know that's like really tempting because, oh, the universe made time for me. No. This is a practice. I'm sorry for the beeping. I don't turn it off. This is a practice. You have got to incorporate it in your life like that dentist appointment. You got to weave it into your life because your purpose is part of your life. Yeah. Right. And I'm coming from a place where I'm a huge nerd. I'm a very loyal employee, all the things. And I used to wait too for like, let me wait till my boss takes a vacation to slow down. Let me wait for me to get sick. Oh, it's a great time to take time off. Yes, I said that. I know all of you do that too. Oh, I'm sick. Oh, now I can watch that show. Why? Why do we wait until we're depleted to take that time? Who taught us to do that? Why? And if you're looking for a job, and you're Katherine, I'll take any job. I hate looking for a job. I hear you. Looking for a job sucks, y'all. If you have a friend looking for a job, or if you see like looking for a job out there and you have a job, help them. Get on a phone call to motivate them, to give them tips. Do something. It's hard out there right now. It's like ridiculously hard. It used to take 3 to 6 months to land a job.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months. That's the old data point. I'm honestly thinking it's about a year, 3 months to a year. Help folks out. Yeah. So if you're looking for a job, all right, you too deserve a break. That is the hardest fucking job, is looking for a job and constantly performing, constantly like putting on the show and constantly pitching yourself and then getting knocked down. That is a really hard job. So please reward yourself, because that's a long-term game. I said 3 months to a year. You can't grind for that long and not get into some trouble.
Yeah. I mean, you can even put it on your prune shelf just for a little while. Just get yourself back into it, because if you're depleted, you're not going to be showing up.
I want you to spend your hard-earned money. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to get there to actually celebrate yourself. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about slowing down. I'm just talking about taking a little break. I'm not talking about making your purpose grand and ginormous. I'm talking about like, you two deserve a break too. You know? Thank you, Crystle, for your reflections. That really helps me understand like the little bits I may have forgotten.
Yeah. I have really loved this conversation, and anyone who's been listening in, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening to the replay, Katherine's going to tell y'all again where you can find her online and how you can work with her. And then we're going to wrap up.
Oh, thank you. I love the guardrails and guidelines. Very helpful. All right. So how can you find me? I'm a owner of Castro Career and Cafecito. It's not that hard, y'all. Cafecito. And you can find me at pruneyourpurpose.com. When you go there, explore, poke around. There's a frequently asked questions. I have free resources in the blog. And I have something called Free Fridays. I don't say free very often, okay? Because I think everyone should be compensated. They're really free. They're on there. And guess what? I have a lot of openings. So when people go, I can't afford it. I don't know what else to do. Like, Free Fridays, they exist for 45 minutes. They exist until I need a break and I got to put it on the prune shelf. So don't holler at me when it's on the prune shelf. And I was like, it's been open for like a year, y'all. So anyway, Free Fridays. That's how you can find me. Now, if you're ready to invest in yourself, there's packages available. Now, if you're like, I don't know you, good for you. I don't know you either. Sign up for a free vibe check. It's for 20 minutes. Do not hire any career coach without a free vibe check. Some people charge like $1,500 for a vibe check. Don't pay for it. No, vibe checks should be free. You're assessing that coach. So that's how you can find me. If you have questions about finding a coach and you're like, I know you're not the one for whatever reason. You remind me of my ex, my sister, blah, blah, blah. But I want to find a career coach. Book that 20 minutes and I'll guide you in that direction. That's all I got. Oh, and book this trip. Like, come on. Like, let's talk about pruning your purpose on the beach. Like,
yes. Because to your point, we have to learn the skills that it takes for us to not get back to empty. If you're feeling depleted, you definitely need to learn ways and get tools to make sure that you are not necessarily on full all the time, but definitely not empty.
oh, and like, I mean, I feel like we can do another episode. Like, you need to know your red flags. You need to know, like, oh man, if you stayed on this long, I'm going to give you a really juicy one. Fuck feedback. Not all the feedback. I'm saying fuck feedback from people that don't know what they're talking about or never take risks or giving. I love when I hear relationship advice. When I'm like, I'm sorry, you're single. Also, I don't even like giving relationship advice. I've been with my partner for 23 years and I still hesitate. People are like, do you have advice? I'm like, no, we just constantly fuck up and then we talk about it. Yeah, so when I say fuck feedback, I don't mean all the feedback, y'all. I believe in growth with feedback. But you gotta, when you know you're growing and you're pruning your purpose, when people give you feedback and you're like, nope.
Yeah, you definitely have to have discernment on what to keep. Like, chew the meat, spit out the bones.
What?
Chew the meat, spit out the bone.
And if you're a vegetarian, spit out the stems.
Spit out the stems.
I love that. I love that. Oh, Crystle, we got to meet in person and we got to do something else together. I don't want to get off. I'm having way too much fun with you.
I can't wait. I have definitely loved this conversation. And next week, we'll be back again. And we'll actually be talking about parenting as liberation, which I'm really excited to talk about. And I hope that you're in the chat to have that conversation. I'm not a parent. However, I know that I have a lot of friends who parent their children differently than they were parented. So that's like a form of liberation to them. So if you are a parent, I hope that you come back next week.
Who is going with me? I'm coming.
Can't wait to see you there in the chat. Talk to us. All right, everybody. Well, thank you again for joining us tonight. Thank you for staying over. And thank you so much, Katherine, for your time. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye, everyone.